Thank you, everybody. Okay, all right, enough horsing around. I seem to have too much fun doing that. That is, horsing around. But what I really have fun doing and what I enjoy doing is this podcast. And welcome back, everybody, to Morning Coffee with Kevin. I am your host, Kevin Peterson. I am so glad to be back. We have been really busy, really busy, and I've just had so much going on that, I feel like I've done about 3 weeks worth of work in the last 7 days. I just really have just been out of control busy. So that's kind of what I want to talk about on today's morning commute or show or whatever you want to call it. I know some of you are on your way to work. I know some of you are probably just sitting at home enjoying your first cup of coffee, and I'm with you on that. I am doing the exact same thing. I am sitting here having my first cup of coffee, and I am enjoying it. And coffee is one of the subjects that we really do not bring up on this show very often. I'll tell you that I'm sitting here having my morning coffee. I'll make comments about you, and I hope you're having your morning coffee and enjoying it. But we don't really talk about coffee as far as recipes, as far as making your own coffee at home, how to brew certain types of coffee, in particular, cold brew. And that's something that I wanted to talk to my listeners about. And because I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one that experiences this. So that's why I'm talking about this today. And I told you I was going to be changing things up, and I was going to be talking about all kinds of new stuff on the show, bringing new content to the show, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And I am in the process right now. I am currently working on completing and finishing up the Raymond Pitts interview, and that will be in our next episode. So I'm really looking forward to that. But talking about coffee, or getting back to coffee, I can't be the only one who suffers this problem. And I wanted to talk to my listeners today about this, just to, maybe get some input from my listeners and see if anybody else suffers with the same thing I do. And that is, I've noticed as I've gotten older that I can no longer drink hot coffee. And, I know most people still enjoy brewing coffee in that traditional manner. And at least people within my generation, they still have a coffee pot at home, and they still brew, hot coffee. For me, I just can't do that anymore. And I found, and for the longest time, I drank hot coffee, and I drank it black. I didn't add cream, didn't add sugar. I didn't do any of that. I just got up in the morning, and I had a cup of hot black coffee. And I did this for years. Years and years. Well, I noticed that I was starting to have some issues with my stomach. My stomach was becoming upset and irritated, and I just could not drink hot black coffee anymore. So what I began doing is that's when I started implementing using the creams, the sugar, flavorings, that sort of thing. And I thought maybe that would help. I thought maybe I just can't have that strong coffee anymore. I even tried a lighter blend of coffee, thinking, that maybe this would help me. And really, the outcome was that it didn't help. None of these things helped. So I went to my doctor. And I had spoke with my doctor about this and said, listen, I'm experiencing irritation, upset stomach whenever I drink hot black coffee. I explained to the doctor the same thing. I decided to add cream, maybe a little sugar, kind of dilute it, maybe go with a lighter blend of coffee, a lighter roast that wasn't so aggressive. And my doctor suggested that I start drinking cold brew. And I thought, I never, to be honest with you, I never really thought about this. I just never had thought about it at all. I mean, it never crossed my mind to try drinking cold brewed coffee. So my doctor explained to me that in the process, and I guess my doctor is a connoisseur of coffees from all around the world, which I did not know this. He could tell you about every type of coffee bean, where it came from, all of its history. And I never knew this about him. So he started to explain to me that how when you cold brew coffee, or should I say when you brew a pot of coffee in a traditional manner with hot water, it extracts the oils from the coffee bean. It extracts the acids from the coffee, and those are the things that upset your stomach. And I said, really? He says, yes, that's more than likely what's upsetting your stomach. I said, okay. He says, now when you cold brew the coffee, it doesn't bring out the acids and the oils that would be brought to the surface when you hot brew it. He said, so drinking a cold brew coffee, it shouldn't irritate your stomach as much. So I thought, okay, well, I guess this is something I'm going to have to try, something that, maybe this will help. Well, sure enough, I started drinking cold brew coffee. I've been doing this for a while now. I've just really never spoke of it. Or maybe I have mentioned it on the show before. I really don't recall. But I decided that I wanted to talk about this because I have been doing this for a while. And now I can freely drink my coffee and get the effects of the coffee cold. And it doesn't upset my stomach anymore. And now that I'm drinking it cold and having cold brew, I'm learning the process of cold brewing. And I'm doing it at home now because it's obviously too expensive to, go down to your local Dutch Brothers or Starbucks and I'm not a big fan of Starbucks anyway, so I'm not going to get into that right now. But I just, I think I'm like most average people in the U.S., and especially with the way the economy is now, I think people are cutting back. I think people are holding on to their money, and they're, trying to cut corners. And so, that's what I started doing, cutting corners, I mean, I can't afford to go spend, $6 or $7 at the coffee shop anymore. So I started cold brewing. I noticed my stomach wasn't bothering me. And I woke up the other day, and this is why I decided to do the podcast a little differently this morning and really talk about something that I've never really brought up on the show before, is I woke up the other morning and I said to myself, you know what? You have been an avid brewer for close to 40 years. I've been making my own beers, brewing my own beers, making my own wine. I've even attempted distilling liquor, whiskey, and just to try my hand at it to see if I could do it. And, and I've very easily mastered all of these things. And I did that because it's something that I love to do. And I think when you enjoy what you're doing, then it's not really work. And so therefore, these things just really kind of came naturally to me and just came easy. And, I just chalk it up to my German heritage. I look back on it and I think, well, the Germans have been brewing beer for how long, and so I guess it's just kind of in my blood. But, so I decided, if I can do that, I can master the art of coffee. And, I figure, if Starbucks and Dutch Brothers can master the art of, specialty coffees and drinks, so can I. So that is one of the things that I have been looking into and working on this week, other than my music, which, pretty much in every episode of this podcast, I talk about my music, and I will shortly. But, I've been working on my music. I've been working on doing some research, and I have decided that I want to open my own coffee bar. Right? It's like, okay, this guy is busy enough as it is. He's supposed to be retired. What the hell's wrong with him? Well, I don't know. I think I'm just restless and I just can't sit still. Not even for a minute. I'm always just so busy doing something. So anyways, I'm looking into starting a little coffee bar. I think this would be fun. I think it is something that I would enjoy doing. And, we'll just see where it goes. I mean, who knows what'll come of it. But if anybody listening to the podcast does have the same issues I do with drinking hot coffee, try drinking cold brew. I promise. If you have any irritation from the hot coffee, your problems will more than likely go away if you drink cold brew. And some people just don't think they're going to like cold coffee. And maybe cold black coffee isn't your thing. Add a little cream and sugar, add a little whipped cream on top of it or something, sprinkle a little cinnamon on it, put a little caramel in it, whatever. Whatever floats your boat, but you'll find that you'll get the same effects, you'll get the energy boost, you'll wake up, you'll be able to get through your day, but you'll be able to do it without having that irritation. And, for me, that was a lifesaver because I'm somebody who gets up every morning and I truly cannot start my day without my coffee. I've said so on the podcast before. Pretty much every morning I do this podcast, and you hear me talking, I am either on my first cup of coffee or I'm already on my second cup. And that's just kind of the way of life for me, and I have to have my coffee. I'm addicted to it. What can I say? Better to be addicted than coffee than alcohol, right? So that's really what I've been doing this week, other than working on music projects and film projects and working on this podcast and just a lot of stuff going on. But I've been doing a lot of research on on different methods and processes of making cold brew concentrate, and and I would like to have a little coffee bar. I just think this would be something that would be fun and cool to do. I really honestly don't know what's going to come of this idea right now. I would like to do this. I'm researching it, like I said. Possibly I may do something. Who knows? But I guess enough about the coffee for this morning. I kind of want to get into the music part of the podcast, and I'm always bringing up my projects that are going on, and you all know that my CD release party had been put on hold due to some unforeseen changes in my life, and I am currently still working, even though I don't mention it in every podcast, every episode. I am currently working on getting that CD release party scheduled, and to get that first single out, and to get the first video out. Actually, that's all going to happen at the same time. On the day that the single is out, the video for that single will be dropped that same day. So, and as far as my album, we are still kind of looking forward to maybe like the end of this year before it comes out. So again, it's got put on hold due to, I guess you could just say, life and the way things are in our world. And things have just come up that have hindered me from being able to release that album. And I am currently still working on that. And I promise we're going to get that out soon as possible. I've also got some other music projects going on. Just, film projects. We got so much going on here that it's insane. And again, I wonder sometimes why I punish myself. I've got so much work, so much that keeps me busy, and I still want to pursue something like a coffee bar, right? Well, I don't know. I just can't seem to sit still long enough to enjoy even watching a movie. I'm always on the go. My brain's always thinking. It's always planning ahead, and that's just kind of the way I work. But anyways, I really hope that everybody is having a wonderful morning this morning. Whether you're at home, just enjoying your morning, maybe you're out in your garage working, maybe you're out in your garden working, listening through headphones or whatever. Whatever's going on in your life. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I know I am. I'm just blessed to be able to wake up every morning and enjoy another day. And sometimes that can be trying in the world we live in and with everything going on. But I just count my blessings, and I'm so grateful for just being here today. And I'm grateful for all of my listeners. I'm so thankful for everybody who tunes in and listens to this show. I just never imagined that I would ever finally do a podcast that people wanted to listen to. And I was just looking at the stats for the podcast the other day, and we have picked up quite a few more listeners. And I am not positively sure, but I think we are being listened to now in 4 countries. I think 4 different countries. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm pretty excited. But anyways, I am going to let you get to your coffee or to your day or whatever it is you're doing. And before I start repeating myself here, but again, I appreciate everybody tuning in to the show and listening. I'm Kevin Peterson. You've been listening to Morning Coffee with Kevin. You have a wonderful day, and we will see you this time next week. Peace.